Hi everybody, welcome to this week's question and answer video. My name is David. This channel is DeMars Coaching, and I'm answering people's questions from last week's video. So I haven't said this in a very long time, but I'm answering people's questions about topics that deal with personality disorders, emotional trauma, dysfunctional relationships, codependency, healing trauma, C-PTSD, ways to discover ourselves, increase our self-awareness, mindfulness, things like this. Anything that has to do with that. I'll answer anyone's questions about anything. Please feel more than comfortable to ask me anything you want. There's no such thing as bad questions or stupid questions. And I welcome repeat questions because a lot of this information, not everyone's heard me say it before. And a lot of us need to hear it again and again, over and over. So please ask me anything you want down in the description or the comment section. And I will answer it next Monday in next week's question and answer video. All I ask is that you share your location if you can. You can be general. Thank you. I want to thank Andrew and George for your donations this week. I had donation, I think, last week, and now I have 2 more this week. And I want to thank both of you very, very much. It's one of the most kindest gestures you can do for somebody you don't know is give them your hard-earned money. Thank you very much. I promise it goes to good places. Whether it's helped me do this channel better and information or even talking to people that need it for free sometimes. So thank you very much, both of you. Very kind of you. I recommend something every week, whether it has to do with the topics I just talked about or things that help people recover, like better sleep, anxiety, things like this. This week, I'm going to talk about daily affirmations. I've talked about this before. Negative self-talk. If we are neglected and abused, if we're on high alert and things like this, we're traumatized, we have different disorders and stress disorders, we'll often have very bad negative self-talk. And our inner voice that's there to help us or keep us safe becomes our worst inner critic, becomes loud and negative, and it makes us worse. We might be suffering from depression. So it's really important to be positive all the time, every day. And we can do this by forcing ourselves to say something good and positive to ourselves, about ourselves. You can do it in the mirror. I suggest you do it out loud. Here's something you can do. Write down a lot of the feelings associated with your experiences you've had and how you feel now. Right? A lot of the bad feelings you have. Write them down. As many as you can. We have thousands, so it can't be that hard. And then try to imagine if you have a child now, or if your child's grown up, or if you don't, try to imagine you have a child telling you they feel all these things, and what would you say to them? Okay? The things you would say to them, maybe on the daily, knowing that they're feeling bad all the time. Write them down and say them to yourself. In the mirror, out loud, like I said. One I really like, that I used to tell myself when I was suffering really bad, is just telling myself you're doing really good. You're doing a really good job. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do, no matter how hard it is, no matter how tough it is or scary. And you're facing your fears and you're doing the things that are hard and tough and you don't care and you're just doing great. Good job. You're handling things so well. Oftentimes, if we get mistreated, we think we're bad people. And it's not. It's just people mistreating us. Here's some more examples. This is so beautiful about you. This is you talking to yourself in the mirror. Try it. Pick something. Say, this is such a beautiful part of you that I love. You are so good at, and say something you're good at. What are you good at? Everybody's good at something. I don't think there's real experts, but I think maybe we're all expert at something. What are you expert at? Tell yourself you're improving every day. You're doing so much better every day. I can see it. I can feel it. You are growing every day. You are becoming the beautiful person that you were always meant to be. You're becoming that every day. Congratulations. Yay. Celebrate. Good job. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for what? Maybe some of the people in your life. Say these things, guys, to yourself. It really, really helps and makes such a difference to have a positive environment rather than negative. Positive inner talk rather than negative. Don't take over for the people who have neglected and abused you. That's that. Let's get into the questions. First one is from Rory in Ohio. Hello, Rory. Hello, David. When you were answering Emily from Latvia's question, you mentioned functioning alcoholic who is capable to work and nobody knew. Would that stand true for someone who does other types of drugs? Yeah. Let's say over the weekend. Yeah, sure. The weekend warrior. I think there's a ton of people who go out on weekends and party and drink and then function all week just fine. As far as functioning goes, daily tasks. I was told they could build up a tolerance. I cannot understand how they could have the willpower to not use during the week. Also, I didn't see how it would be out of their system by the time Monday rolled around. Well, typical people that do drugs, let's say on the weekend and function during the week, it's because they've got commitments that they keep, right? A job. And so they understand maybe, the harder the drug, maybe they keep it on the weekends because during the week interferes with my work and they're being somewhat responsible, right? But when you say build up a tolerance, a lot of people are confused with tolerance. And so all tolerance means is that you're not feeling the effect of it as much, of the drug when you're high. But it does all the same damage to everyone else, to everyone. So if you drink a fifth of liquor, an entire bottle of 80 proof liquor, it's going to do lots of damage to your neurological system, your brain cells, your liver, your kidney, no matter who you are. But the person that drinks a lot doesn't feel the effects as much. So here's a neuron. These are dendrites, and these receive and send messages. This is your functioning. Alcohol, we say alcohol just kills brain cells. Drugs just kill brain cells. What it really does is it damages these dendrites. It makes them shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter to receive less messages and send less messages effectively. And so one person drinks alcohol all the time with short dendrites, and they have a few drinks, and they don't really feel the high as much. Where you, maybe, Rory, you don't drink much, maybe just on Christmas, and you have 2 glasses of eggnog instead of 1, and you're like, whoo, wow, I feel it, because your dendrites are better, you're healthier. But it does the exact same damage to both people. So they're going to feel bad during the week, just like you do. You would if you were doing it. Doesn't matter. Just not as high. And what actually happens over time is the highs get less and the lowers drop too. So it's not as fun, and then it's really bad. But they are able to function because they've got the commitments of what they have to work, right? And it's not necessarily out of their system by the time Monday rolls around. Some narcotics can leave our bodies faster than others, but they're not high. It could be in their system. They're just not, they don't got the high yet anymore. If that makes sense. Hope I answered your question. Let me know, Roy. Thanks. Andrew from Poland. Hi, Andrew. Thank you for answering to my question. Much appreciated. Answering your question, yes. Laws to protect an employee against a smear campaign, libel, and slander exist in Polish legislature. Someone told me recently that when faced with a smear campaign, you can respond by changing their slander into your opinion. I guess that's one way of countering a smear campaign. Yeah, that's a good attitude to take, right? I mean, someone's sitting there just going, basically they're just trying to tell you, but you're a bad person, you're a bad person. Well, that's your opinion, right? Until they come up with lies, right? And made up people and made up emails and made up stuff like this, then it starts to become very damaging. There is also a good book treating about this subject, Snakes in Suits by Paul Babiak and Robert Hare. I will look for that video about a narcissistic boss you mentioned. Thank you. Best regards from Poland. Thank you very much, Andrew, again. The narcissistic psychopathic boss is extremely difficult to deal with. It is. And it can cause you damage, emotional, mental damage. And it's not stable. You could not have a stable job security. You may think you might lose your job all the time. But I've made videos about this before, and I think maybe I'll make another one about this topic. But just to let you know, for all of you out there, If you have a narcissistic, psychopathic boss, it's really important to not get close to them emotionally. And you can act like it a little bit, but don't tell them anything about you. Nothing. Especially the bad stuff. And do your job really well, but never outshine them. And you remind them and let them know, I'm only here to help lessen your amazing job load you have. That's it. And I'll never do it as well as you, but I'll always try to do my best. And don't tell them anything. Nothing. Just some advice. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. Thank you, Andrew, again very much. And next question. JR from East Coast. Exes love to say you cheated with the next person you're with, even when it's not true. My ex is doing that about my girlfriend, even though I met her 4 months later. Someone on my Facebook gave my girlfriend's profile to my ex, and she contacted her, accusing her of getting with me while I was still with her. Yeah, it's nice, huh? And, you know, I know you're young, JR, and I know these girls are young, but unfortunately, it doesn't stick with only young people that do this. Yeah, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's insane. And it's just all victim mentality, isn't it? That's all it is. Anybody saying, oh, they're a bad person, they did something bad to me or to other people, it's just all victim mentality, victimhood. Your ex feels like a victim, and she won't take care of herself. She wants to remain in victimhood and lash out and hurt people and get people to feel sorry for her. Very dangerous. And all of it, JR, is I hope showing you how important it is to take your time to get to know people before you allow them in your home, your house, your heart. Rory again. Hi, David. I noticed with him, we could never come up with a solution for anything because he would go off on a tangent about something else. How are you supposed to have a meaningful conversation with someone who does that? It was so hard to get back to what our original topic was. It was crazy making. Have a great night. Yeah, I mean, and that's really common with people that have been traumatized. Yeah. I think I've been like that. And I've talked to many, many, many people who are traumatized and they just can't stick to one subject. Someone that'll just keep talking and talking and then ask you a question, but just keep talking, not let you answer it, and ask you another question, not let you answer it. And then they go on to another topic and another topic and another topic. And you're like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I stop them from talking? Do I go back and answer all the questions they asked me? Because they didn't give me a chance. I don't think they really want an answer. There's a lot of psychology to it. Someone that never feels like people listen to them. Lonely, self-doubt, and traumatized. Can't focus, concentrate. But yeah, oh God, to be around people that unstable, doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And unstable people will make you feel unstable. Sally says, good Q&A as always. Thank you, Sally, very much. Don't know where you're from. I can't remember. You said, and Sally again, had such a toxic workplace and developed MS. Too scared to leave as I loved the work. The culture, horrendous. I'm sorry, Sally. Oh, I hope you're getting better. I hope your MS is getting better. You developed it, you think, due to the workplace? Just let you know, if you don't already, there are a lot of new studies finding out that MS, even in adulthood, has contributed a lot to child neglect and abuse. Interesting, huh? And a lot of people who are traumatized in their adulthood have been traumatized in their childhood. You see that? And they're more predisposed to it. We're finding out that even like officers and soldiers who get PTSD have actually been neglected and abused in their childhood, where the other soldiers and officers around them with the same experience aren't getting PTSD and were traumatized and neglected in childhood. I just always find that interesting. Thanks, Sally. Let us know where you are. And it's okay, don't know where you're from, says, looking forward to the next Q&A. By the way, you have a really nice smile. Thank you very much. Miles Benson. I can't remember where you're from either, Miles. I think Eastern United States too. You can't give narcissists closure. No, because it's the truth. not just what you're saying, but closure is truth, right? I'm not in love with you anymore. Yeah. Not, it's not you, it's me. It's, it's just, not in love with you anymore. Not attracted to you anymore. I can't stand you anymore. I can't be honest. But no, you can't be honest with the narcissist. You said you tried and it didn't work. She just turned it into another never-ending argument. Find a way to give yourself closure. That's what I have to do. I sure as heck know I'll never get it from my ex-narcissist. No, you probably won't, but you can give it to yourself, Miles. Yeah, you can. And you can even give her some. A good exercise, man, is just writing a letter. And you can give yourself closure in that letter as you're giving her closure in that letter, and you don't even have to send it to her. You can if you want. Read it to someone else. That's always good. But closure is the truth, so be honest. Write a letter to her like you're writing it to her, and just be honest and tell her why it's over and why you want it over and why, and ask for what you want. I never want to see you again and talk to you again. It's a really good exercise. Can really help. Give it a shot. Thanks, Miles. And next one is Delphi. I do not know where you're from. Let us know where you're from if you can next time, Delphi. I'm always careful of people who share their story way too soon or at all. Not saying that people are lying. Even if it's true, I've seen the victim story quickly weaponized. I had to learn that the hard way. Not saying don't care about people, but such confessions should be left between a therapist or whoever you tell. God, or whoever you call God. I too had to move past the story. People don't have to care or hear it. I also had to take accountability. Few things are everyone else's fault. And I love this comment because it's perfect. Why you're not a victim anymore, Delphi, and why some people are still victims by people that victimize them and may not even be alive anymore, right? And this is boundaries, right? Oversharing would be somebody else's boundaries, and oversharing would ensue that you are going past your own boundaries if you're oversharing. If you're sharing and telling people a bunch of stuff and then you wonder what they're going to do about it and you get scared and you feel vulnerable, you're oversharing, and even for your own self. But some people don't like people to open up and overshare to them. And they're like, God, you're telling me way too much, right? It'd be like me walking around and going up to you and I want to give you the combination to my safe. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Wait, then who else knows this? Just me? Something happens to your safe? Then I just know the combination. I don't want to know this. Stop telling me. Oversharing, the victim story. Yeah, and we've all been victimized, and we all have stories, and it needs to be told. It needs to be shared, but in the appropriate time and place. Yeah. And this is what, and I've been saying it forever, I'm telling you, it's what starts what you guys call the trauma bond. However you want to define a trauma bond, it begins when you guys are crossing each other's boundaries right off the bat and sharing personal stories too fast and too quick. And yeah, it's like two victims sitting there being, oh, we're still victims, and it's not going to end well. Thanks, Delphi. And Veronica. Hey, David, I want everyone to know that I was in a terrible position. Your videos helped and are helping me so much. Thank you for telling me. But I got away. Please know that this is a choice. You are still that girl, boy, man, woman, because nowadays you don't know. You don't know. I hope this speaks to you all, but please seek help for yourself. Thank you very much, Veronica. Yeah, we all have a choice. And part of trauma, being traumatized, I felt hopeless. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to get away from it. And you can. No matter what position you're in, you can stop it and get away from it. There's just people to help you if you don't know how. And we all need help. All of us. We all need help. And you're worthy of it. You're worthy. We're all worthy. We're all capable of healing. We all need help. And we're all worthy of that help that we need. So give it to yourself and prove it. Thank you. And Sally is saying again, I'm assuming this is with all narcs, not just spouses. Is it common for someone to just say out of the blue at age 37, I think I'm a narcissist? Or are they possibly a victim of a narcissist? Well, narcissists are victims of narcissistic abuse. Narcissists definitely grew up being emotionally neglected. I don't care how much physical things they got, and attention and love and never being held accountable or responsible. That's all neglect. So they're victims. They have been victims of narcissistic parenting. It's not common for anyone to say, I'm a narcissist. And so it's not common. What's common is for people to come out of neglect and abuse with self-doubt. It's number one, right? If I had to say what is the most common thing, I wouldn't say anxiety and depression and trauma and sleep problems. Self-doubt. Maybe headaches and stomach aches. Self-doubt. Self-doubt. I don't know who I am. Am I a bad person? Am I the narcissist? So this person could be a victim of this stuff and have mass self-doubt. This person could also have narcissistic personality disorder, because if that's the part of your question you're wondering, is it common? I'll tell you, it's very common. Most people that have narcissistic personality disorder and are never diagnosed with it know they're very different than the rest of us that don't have it. If you go look up how many people have it, some sources say 1%. It's very far off, but it's rare. And they know. They have massive problems and difficulties, and they don't feel the same way we do. They don't connect with people. They have a very broken, fragmented self that they're ashamed of. They're insecure. They overcompensate, try to make us all fooled that they're great for attention and stuff. But so at age 37, he says out of blue, I think I'm a narcissist. He may be. I mean, what are you going to do with that information? Tell him he's not? Help him? Regardless if he is or not, that's not someone very stable. Be careful. But I think that's your question. Is it common for people to just think that have been victims of narcissistic abuse? And yeah, to think all kinds of things they're not, because they're unstable. That's the only way to survive if you're going to stay with a narcissist, is lose yourself. Because you can't concentrate on what you need, what you want, and how you feel and your values with a narcissist. They got to go. It's one or the other. You compromise, sacrificed, numbed, neglected yourself. And it's been him, her. Hope I answered your question. Please let me know. Victoria from the Bay Area. I remember. Hi, Victoria. Hi, David. I made a very nice lady in the neighborhood. Oh, mistype. I think I met a very nice lady in my neighborhood. After talking to her about 5 minutes, she began fishing for compliments. For example, don't I look young for my age? Look, I have new contact lenses. The men love my blonde hair. On and on. David, this feels like a red flag. Good, because there you go. Red flags are feelings. It's emotions. Don't neglect or deny or reject them. Yeah, I mean, look, Victoria, the bottom line is we're all narcissistic. All. If you put it on a spectrum, we're in the middle. You got a few that are totally selfless, and you got a few that are totally selfish, and they cause problems for themselves and most likely others, both of them. But we're all in the middle. So now that we're hypervigilant for it, we see it in people. And then oh God, they're a narcissist. I don't know what your red flag is, but my guess is it's triggering something from a past experience, because that in itself, someone fishing for compliments, I don't like it either, but that on its own is not dangerous. But you can't sit there and say, yeah, you can't decide anything, just take note of it. Yeah. This person is fishing for compliments. It's what's important to her. Her looks. Shallow. Right? Shallow person. I got it twice here. And that's it. That's it. Short. I need questions, guys. Ask me questions. Anything you want, please. Down below. And come back next Monday. Let me know what you think. that is it. Let me know what you guys think of the daily affirmations that I recommended. And I'd love for you guys to list some of the things that you tell yourself that works for you and makes yourself feel better. I told you mine. When I used to really struggle hard, I just say, you're doing so good though. I know you feel bad, but you're doing so much better. It really helps to rate ourselves every day. It's okay to say, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to feel bad anymore, without rejecting or denying it, accepting it, but I don't want to. I'm striving to feel better. I want to feel this way. Describe how you want to feel. Okay? And tell yourself you're beautiful and amazing every day, because you guys are. All right? Love yourself first, guys. I'll see you soon this week. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want to know when the rest of my videos come out this week. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye, guys.